TIDES, and I'm joined by Chris Rombach from Asahi Kasei Bioprocess and Thomas Rupp from Axolabs. Welcome both.
Thank you.
To start off, do you think we can discuss the future of oligonucleotide therapeutics and where we see the potential going for that?
The future of synthetic RNA therapeutics as we see it today is bright. The conference, number of attendees at the conference increases, the number of compounds in clinical trials increases, and also the request for manufacturing slots increases significantly in the past years. And that's also because we now have 17 plus minus one compounds approved and on the market. And there is challenges, of course, that came up in the past years, but I think we've overcome the most basic hurdles.
And you've touched on the challenges there, but what would you say are the biggest challenges when it comes to the large-scale manufacturing?
I take you up on your last words. The biggest challenge is the large-scale manufacturing, because manufacturing of these synthetic RNA therapeutics is a chemical process. And these chemical processes now, with the increased demand, require an increased number of manufacturing slots out there, but they also need increased size of those manufacturing slots. We need to produce more of these RNA therapeutics. One of the challenges there is that we are competing against mRNA vaccines. Everybody knows mRNA vaccines since the pandemic because of the Pfizer and the Moderna shots. And we have the same starting materials with the mRNA therapeutics, and that is one of the hurdles that needs to be overcome. And the other hurdle is, of course, the sizing of the equipment, and that's where Asahi Kasei comes into play.
I think the other interesting aspect is, although oligonucleotides are not new, making them at large scale is very new. And there's a lot of experience and expertise in academia and in the research labs, but this doesn't always transfer completely to larger scale manufacturing. And so the industry is going through a bit of a renaissance now as more and more capacity comes online and more people get involved. So there's still a lot of learning.
And could we go back to sort of the original conversations between Axolabs and Asahi Kasei? When did you discover that there was potential for a good collaboration here?
Well, we've known Thomas for some time, and when he was given this new role, we started discussing with him how we might be able to partner and work together. We've utilized his expertise for many years as well. And so we sat down and we started discussing it, and then Thomas set his team out to perform a risk analysis that I'll let him describe.
As Chris mentioned, our engineering team at Axolabs started a risk assessment on the challenges of manufacturing, on upscaling of manufacturing. Also keeping in mind that we not only need to address the increased demand for oligonucleotides of RNA therapeutics, but also need to focus on the various flavors of oligonucleotides, the modifications, chemical modifications that are on the market. And in the initial discussions, the engineering team of Axolabs made a risk assessment on with which instrument manufacturer to go, and Asahi Kasei, as an engineering company, was very flexible in the offerings and also in the shape of the instrument, design of the instrument, and that's why the engineering team decided to go with Asahi Kasei here.
And what would you say some of the challenges were when it came to selecting the right kind of equipment for the Axolabs?
Yeah, that is basically the same point. We have a demand for highly modified oligonucleotides. We have demand for new chemistries, different chemistries. We have to mitigate the risk of the chemistry because it is not an environmental friendly chemistry, and the volumetrics of this chemistry are just incredible. I mean, to manufacture a kilogram of oligonucleotide drug substance, we use about 15,000 liters of acetonitrile, and we're using in the same respect, a large amount of detutylation reagent, which is a corrosive acid in an organic solvent. And our challenge was in Berlin, which is the capital of Germany, which is an inhabited city. There's not much chemical industry there. So our challenge was to mitigate that risk of using those acids, for example, at these large scales. And Asahi Kasei came up with a solution that allows us to maintain the acids inside the facility while we have only the organic solvents outside, and that was an engineering design that only came from Asahi Kasei.
Our mantra tagline is "Built for You," and that is what is in our DNA at our company. And "Built for You" doesn't mean tell us exactly what you want, but it's and then we'll build it exactly that way. It's a combination of our own engineering expertise along with the customer's process experience and expertise, that combination then creates a system that can be truly built for that specific customer, which is what we did.
Yeah, and if I may add to that, as I said, in Berlin we're quite in a very strict regulated environmental environment, and we have to follow the German Emission Control Act, and that design of the instrument helped us to get approval and permission by that Emission Control Act.
And where would you say you both are now in terms of the partnership?
The partnership has been launched some time ago. I can't even remember when the first meetings were. And at the moment, the instruments, the orders have been placed. That means all the long lead items have been ordered. The instruments are in build at the moment, and so everything is really nicely on track, and we're looking forward to the next steps, to the next milestones of the project, which would be a visit of our engineering team who did the selection, the risk assessment in a theoretic way. They have no practical experience with that instrumentation at that scale. In the facility at Asahi Kasei at a factory acceptance testing. So.
And for us, we're at a point where it's literally full steam ahead. We started this project actually before we were awarded it, which was perhaps a little bit of a risk on our part, but we understood the timeliness of it, the requirements that AXO was going to have, and we wanted to be certain that we fully understood what all of their requirements are so that we could deliver the right product. Since then, we've established joint steering committees between the two companies that involve senior management, as well as the ultimate designers and engineers and end users of it. And so we are in constant contact with each other and being very transparent with all of the project steps as they go forward.
And we not only have put a joint steering committee in place, but we also have our quality departments talk to each other, and that means that the systems are being designed and built to user requirement specifications, following our GMP needs, and there's a good conversation, a good ongoing dialogue between the two quality departments to deliver the instruments to a quality that is required to our needs.
Perfect. And what are you both looking forward to as we look towards this year and sort of beyond?
Me, from my perspective, from an Axolabs perspective, I really look forward to getting my team over to Chicago to get their hands actually on the real thing, on the metal that is being assembled together to shape those instrumentation, and the team is also very eager to get over, to get their hands on the instrument and meet the team that actually builds the instrumentation. Because right now we had a couple of visits of Asahi Kasei, but it was more the designers and the planners, and now they want to meet, my team wants to meet the people building the instrumentation.
Yeah, I think that what I'm most looking forward to is delivering a suite of products to a very valued customer and delighting them. There's going to be a lot of challenges and a lot of questions to be answered, and we're very excited by that. It's also very nice to build this great network of people and get to know the AXO team because it is a very small industry, so it's good to network within it. And I think that over the next coming year, there's going to be opportunities for a lot of get-togethers and conversations and probably a few late nights here and there.
Thank you.
Well, thanks so much for talking to us about your collaboration. It's really exciting work that you're both doing.
Thank you.
Thank you for
the opportunity.